What would you do if the person you trusted most suddenly refused to face the world? The studio lights burned bright, the cameras hummed, and the audience buzzed with anticipation. Every seat was taken, every phone was ready to record. Tonight was meant to be unforgettable. Donald Trump, a man who had dominated headlines for years, was set for an exclusive interview with America's top-rated news host, Clara Jennings, but minutes before the show was set to go live, something strange happened. Backstage, nervous whispers broke the usual rhythm. The floor manager stared at the monitors, confused. The host's chair, normally a symbol of authority, sat empty. Clara Jennings had not stepped out. Not once, not even to check the stage. The audience thought it was a simple delay. But the crew knew something was terribly wrong. Trump, calm but alert, was quietly informed of the situation. His brows tightened not with irritation but curiosity. This wasn't nerves. This wasn't a late entrance. This was a refusal. Assistants tried calling Clara, straight to voicemail. Security murmured among themselves. Her personal assistant, usually composed to the point of perfection, paced wildly. Trump took a breath. Even he sensed the weight of whatever was happening behind the scenes. He finally turned toward the backstage hallway. Sometimes, he said to himself, the real story isn't on the stage. It's hidden behind it. He walked through the maze of cables and frantic crew until he reached the green room door. The moment he entered, he understood. Clara Jennings sat slumped in a chair, the lights dim around her, her hands trembling as she clutched a folder to her chest. Her famous confident smile was nowhere to be found. "Clara," Trump said softly as he approached. "What's going on?" Her voice cracked. I can't do it. Not tonight. After what?" he asked, kneeling slightly to meet her eyes. Tears welled in her eyes. "People expect me to be perfect, to always know what to say, to never break. But I can't keep pretending. Not after what happened this morning." Trump stayed quiet, listening. Slowly, she revealed the truth. That morning, she had received a shattering phone call. Her younger brother, the one she supported quietly, the one she never talked about publicly, had been in a serious accident. He was in the hospital, fighting for his life. She had tried to push through it, tried to be the polished, unbreakable host everyone depended on. But the image cracked. Her assistant stepped forward, voice trembling. "She's been holding everything together for years. Work, family, crises. Tonight it finally became too much." Trump understood better than anyone. Strength wasn't acting unbreakable. It was admitting you needed a moment to breathe. "Do you want to step back?" he asked gently. "Take tonight off?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I don't want to disappoint them." Trump gave a faint smile. "Sometimes the people who admire you most don't need the show, they need the truth." He sat beside her, sharing stories he rarely spoke about. The early days of pressure, public setbacks, private heartbreaks. Moments when he wanted to run, when the world demanded perfection and he just couldn't give it. Clara listened, stunned. She'd never imagined that the man across from her, someone the world viewed as bold and uncheckable, had his own moments of doubt, fear, and quiet pain. "See?" Trump said softly, "You're not alone. Everyone has moments when they want to hide. Facing the world anyway, that's real courage." Clara's eyes shimmered. For the first time all night she breathed deeply, steady, grounded, human. For the first time that night Clara felt a flicker of hope. Maybe she could return to the stage. Maybe she didn't need to be perfect, just honest. Trump glanced toward the glowing stage lights, still waiting, still demanding. The moment of truth was close. Would Clara step back into the spotlight, or let fear keep her hidden? Clara closed her eyes and clutched the folder in her hands. Inside were her carefully prepared notes, the questions, the script, the polished persona she had built. None of it mattered anymore. I don't know if I can," she whispered. Trump rested a steady hand on her shoulder. "You don't have to be perfect," he said softly. "You just have to be you." Clara inhaled shakily. She thought of her brother, lying in a hospital bed fighting for his life. She thought of the millions waiting not for a flawless performance, but for truth, humanity, connection. Finally, she nodded. "Okay, I'll try," Trump smiled. That's all anyone can ask. As they walked toward the stage, the crew sensed the shift in the air. Clara's posture straightened. Her steps grew steady. Determination replaced fear, the audience knew. Nothing of the storm raging backstage. They only saw the gleam of the set, the cameras, and a poised host returning to her chair. But something was different now. This wasn't just a show, it was courage taking shape. The crowd erupted as Clara took her seat opposite Trump. "Welcome, Clara," he said warmly. "I hear it's been a tough day." She exhaled, almost laughing through her nerves. "You could say that." Trump leaned in slightly. "Sometimes the hardest stories to tell are our own. But truth, that's what resonates, that's what inspires." The cameras rolled. The show began not perfectly, but authentically. Clara abandoned the rigid script. She asked questions from the heart, shared pieces of her pain, even aloud. Her voice to tremble. The interview became something unexpected, a raw, human exchange filled with empathy and understanding. Backstage, the crew whispered among themselves. They weren't watching a typical show, they were witnessing transformation. Authenticity had replaced performance. Trump spoke about personal failures, family struggles, and moments when he too doubted himself. Clara opened up about her brother, her fears, her exhaustion. The conversation carried quiet lessons. Strength isn't perfection, vulnerability is courage, honesty inspires. The audience felt it. Applause wasn't polite, it was emotional. They weren't responding to a host. They were responding to a human being. By mid-show, Clara's fear had melted into a deeper confidence, the kind born from truth. She laughed, she teared up, she connected. Trump watched with quiet pride. Not for himself, but for her bravery. The show neared its end. Clara addressed the viewers directly. "It's okay to be afraid," she said. "It's okay to stumble. What matters is showing up even when you feel broken." Trump nodded gently. "And sometimes," he added, "someone who understands can make that moment a little lighter." The audience, unaware of the morning's chaos, felt moved and reflective. What began in fear ended as a tribute to resilience. Backstage, Clara and Trump shared a quiet moment. "You did more than host tonight," Trump told her. "You reminded people that courage isn't loud. Sometimes it trembles." Clara blinked back tears. "I never imagined my fear could help someone." "It always does," Trump said. "Honesty leaves a mark?" For the first time in months, Clara felt her chest loosen. Vulnerability wasn't weakness, it was connection. Her phone buzzed, a video call from her brother. He was awake, smiling weakly from his hospital bed. "You did it," he whispered. "I heard about the show. I'm proud of you." Clara's breath caught. Her courage had not only inspired strangers, it had reached the one person who mattered most. Crew members approached her with quiet admiration. "I've never seen someone turn fear into strength so naturally," a cameraman told her. Trump nodded. "It's the human story. The heart always wins." That night, Clara went home and scrolled through messages from viewers, people thanking her for her honesty, sharing their own fears, their own battles. She had stepped onto that stage trembling, and created ripples she never expected. The next morning, Trump invited her for coffee. "You know," he said, "sometimes the most powerful moments happen when no one's watching. But when the world does see them, they inspire in ways we never imagined." Clara smiled. She finally understood. A producer arrived with an envelope from an elderly viewer. Inside was a handwritten note. "Your bravery reminds us to face life with honesty." "Thank you." Tears welled in Clara's eyes. Her small act of courage had reached hearts she would never meet. A few days later, she received a personal letter from Trump. "Tonight you showed millions that vulnerability is strength. Keep showing up, keep inspiring." She pinned the note. Above her desk, a reminder of what courage truly looks like. Clara began mentoring young journalists, teaching them what she had learned. Authenticity and honesty outshine perfection every time. Months later, she returned to the same studio, this time as a guest of honor. Her brother, fully recovered, sat in the front row. The audience rose to their feet as she walked on stage. Trump handed her a small envelope. Inside, another note: "True courage Isn't never being afraid, it's showing up anyway. Clara's eyes glistened with gratitude. The show that night was more than entertainment. It was a symbol of resilience, empathy, and the human spirit. Sometimes the greatest story isn't the one told on stage. It's the one unfolding quietly backstage, hidden in hearts, waiting for the right moment to be shared.